2017 was a chaotic year, a rollercoaster of drama, exhaustion, and stress thanks to starting a new real estate business. At the end of that year, I went on a trip to Nepal to visit my friend and see his work. He had spent the best part of 2 years working in a rural Nepali village outside Kathmandu, living in a tiny 30 square metre hut he'd built inside his brick factory. It was L-shaped, with a bedroom at one end, kitchen in the corner, and office on the other side. The whole hut could have fit in my living room back home. A few days in, I fell into something of a routine. I'd wake up to the fierce cold, rubbing warmth back into my cheeks before summoning the testes to take a shower. This meant braving the freezing cold between the hut and the tiny outhouse. Because we couldn't adjust the water temperature, I'd dance through the scalding hot water to shower, looking over the toilet that had been built flush against the wall so you couldn't sit on it properly. And yet, this time was filled with magic. By late morning, men and women from the village filtered down to start work. They played their music, smiled, laughed and poked fun at each other, while the cook prepared breakfast and later lunch. I sat there most days, on my laptop or with a book in hand, while the day danced away around me. By night, when the workers returned home and we were swallowed up once more by the quiet of the countryside, my friends and I would cook by fire under the great mountains and stars of the valley. We'd talk the night away and be too tired to watch Netflix. I, the private school mama's boy from big old Sydney, had one of the best times of my life, while spending only about $8 a day. It was insanity. I'd worked hard and had my ass handed to me all year. I hadn't questioned it up until now. It was only once I'd been pulled from the water did I ask myself if it was really worth swimming. Up until that point, I thought the pain and stress of work were necessary evils, sacrifices made now for a reward that would come later. But hang on, I asked myself, if I'm having one of the best times of my life and the formula for it is so simple and inexpensive, then what the heck is the point? This is minimalism, but also this is not minimalism. What a lot of us call to mind when we think of minimalism is actually austerity. Houses with no furniture but a mattress on the floor, one set of clothes in the cupboard, and nothing but a bicycle in the garage. Maybe we think of hermits, remote tribes, Steve Jobs in jeans and joggers, or Warren Buffett, the billionaire who, realizing he can only sleep in one bed at a time, chooses not to own a massive fleet of houses. Minimalism is commonly understood as an art of doing more with less. It involves a decluttering, a removal of the excess that gets in the way. Definitions of minimalism normally center on what is reduced or what people go without. And that might be a consequence of the name, but really, I think minimalism is not about having fewer possessions, but creating room for substance. When you look into the stories of people who have embraced minimalism, they use phrases like removing distractions, reclaiming time, and most importantly of all, freedom. There's usually an emphasis on finding contentment, not from things, but from life itself. That's why minimalism often looks like having less stuff when really, I think it's about needing less stuff. Minimalists may still have fancy homes and luxury possessions or whatever else, but they are not attached to them. From the freedom of the need, space is created, and that space allows fulfillment to arise from within. At the end of the day, I never spent more than 2 weeks at a time in Nepal. If that time was so happy, why didn't I stay there forever? See, there's a bit of a trick with minimalism, maybe something we could call the minimalist dilemma, but you'll have to stay tuned to see that one next time.